Huh? You hear that, everyone? You know what that's the sound of? That's the sound of old Saint Nick bringing everyone coal this year, because this whole year everyone's just been out of pocket. You know, the world is just nuts this year, it seems like. But anyway, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode. That was my festive influence for the podcast this week. It's the last week before Christmas. I got my decorations up. I'm looking at my Christmas tree right now. I have, I'm proud of my Christmas tree. My Christmas tree, it's small, but it gets the job done. I ransacked my parents' ornaments, took the ones that I wanted, and then created my own ornaments. I have a couple from the office. I got a World's Best Boss coffee mug. I have a Michael Scott bobblehead that speaks. I have Tony Hawk on a ramp. I have a couple Tech Deck skateboards. I got all kinds of cool shit on there. And that's the best part about being an adult. I decorate however the fuck I want now. And, I've always loved Christmas. I know a lot of people don't like Christmas. My wife is like a Grinch. She doesn't want nothing to do with it. She don't care if she gets any presents. She don't care if Christmas passes right up. The only thing she likes about Christmas is the cold weather, which is bullshit to me, because I decorated my house. Like, I want my house to be decorated, and she was like, if you want it decorated, you better fucking decorate it yourself. So that's what I did. So I'm sitting in a cozy ass room, no thanks to her. My mother-in-law bought me a life-size Santa Claus doll that's super creepy, has black eyes, they just stare right into your soul, lights up and everything. So it's pretty cool. My wife wanted nothing to do with it, but there was not any way in hell I was throwing that away. But Christmas time, man, enjoy the time with your family. I'm going to enjoy my time with my family. I'm going to go to my mom's house. We always do something big for Christmas Eve. We always have like our whole entire family over. Everyone, at least, that's still talking to each other, because, there's petty shit that goes on in everyone's family that grown-ass adults just can't get past. And, I have nothing. I can't even talk. There's people that I don't speak to for dumbass shit that, has just been around for years. But that's neither here nor there. Christmas is dope, though. I like going back and, seeing everyone. I like buying gifts for people. Whenever I buy gifts, I really think of, like, dope-ass shit to get. Like, doesn't matter the money. I just really think of gifts that are going to be meaningful. So I'm excited about that. I have a Christmas party coming up with my friends, and I couldn't look forward to that more. It's an excuse where me and 6 of my best friends, we get together and we have like a Secret Santa giveaway. We each buy each other a $50 gift, and we're getting it catered this year. Shout out to Streets on CARSON. Every year we get like a fucking table full of pizzas and whack ass shit from like a pizza place, but instead I hit up Matt. I figured we go high class this year, and we hit up Streets on CARSON to get some of their fine delicacies. So we're real excited about that. But yeah, enjoy the time with your families. I hope everyone gets through Christmas, has a safe Christmas, has a fun holiday. I'll definitely, there's not going to be any stopping in the podcast. None of this shit could stop. I'm always going with this. So next week there'll be an episode 2, but I just wanted to stop and acknowledge that this is the last one before Christmas, and I'm a jolly type fellow. I'm extra jolly around the Christmas time. So I wanted to take the time to acknowledge it. It's my fucking podcast. I'll do what I want with it. But on to the main reason everyone's here. I'm super pumped to have this guest on this week. Episode 49 of I'll Call You Right Back podcast. I sat down with a dude named DJ ADMC. All right. So DJ ADMC is a dude that grew up in Shaler, PA. But he's a fucking DJ. His real name is Adam Kitroa. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, dude. It's difficult though. Kusitroa. I don't know. That's embarrassing, but hey, I'm sorry. Anyway, DJ ADMC is just like, he's nasty, dude. Like, I seen him on Instagram and I seen him on Facebook and I seen these videos, and he puts out these videos of these little mixes he puts together, all this like old nostalgic music. He throws in a bunch of dope shit, and he just does these little freestyle mixes like right in front of this camera, and these videos are just super dope. Literally just a second before I started to record this, he put out another one. All right, he put out another video that I was just like blown away by. It's called Must Have Superpowers. You could find that on his Facebook page, DJ ADMC. But definitely check him out. I had my eye on him to talk to him for a while, and I finally was able to make it happen. So he came over, and we had a great conversation. You know, I was super interested with how he came up, how someone becomes a DJ. You know, I know a few people that have done it, but I mean, he's killing it. Super successful, always out there doing shit, different theme nights, different. He just did a fundraiser for all the wildlife in California that had to do with the wildfires, and it's just super awesome guy, and I was excited to have him on. So without further ado, actually for a second, just go like his page, DJ ADMC. I mean, he got a fuckload of likes more than I do anyway, so I'm not helping him out, but go like his page for me, and then do me a favor. You know what? Go like my shit. If you like this podcast and you're listening to it right now, hit pause for a second. You know, it'll take you 2 minutes. Go to the Apple Podcast page, because that is the only review that matters. And go to the bottom of the page, hit me 5 stars, because I put everything into this shit. And maybe write me a review if you'd like to. I appreciate all those very, very much. Just make sure you're following people on social media and rating and reviewing their things. Especially, even if you don't do this podcast, any podcast you listen to, just rate and review it, because that shit is so important for people. But yeah, without further ado, episode 49 of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with an awesome dude, DJ ADMC.
I gotta use the telephone.
Hello?
Telephone.
I'll call you right back. Call you right back.
Telephone.
I'll Call You Right Back podcast. All right. Mondays again. It was just a fucked up day.
Yeah. Is this close enough? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm all good with
Good,
you.
good.
You good?
I'm good.
What so do you have another like income, like another job, or are you just a DJ?
Right now, I'm just a DJ.
How does it feel?
It feels great. It really does.
How long you been at this?
Been at this now as just my career for 2 years.
Really?
Yes. So 2 years ago, I decided to quit my full-time job and disappoint my parents.
Of course. That's the
But
way
now,
it is.
but now, you know, after they see, you know, what I've been doing, and now that I'm making even more money than I was in a corporate office, they're okay with it now, of course.
Absolutely. What did you do beforehand?
So before this, I was an international sales, inside sales representative. So
What were you selling?
I was selling anything from, how do I explain this? It was sensors for automatic doors. So if you go into a Walmart or you know, just a shopping mall, and the sliding doors open for you, we were the company that sold the sensors that would catch you walking up to the door to activate the door to open.
Wow.
So it's very, very interesting stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like peak interest that
Yeah.
you could have. Now,
Yeah.
how did you even get it? So I'm sure that kind of was just a job that you got at the end of school.
Well, so actually, that was my third job out of school.
Yeah.
My first job was basically a customer service rep for an Overstock.com type of company.
Yeah.
And I was just, you know, answering emails, answering, you know, people's questions about the products we were selling. It was basically, it was Amazon, but a bootleg Amazon kind of thing.
Was it the worst?
It was the worst.
Yeah.
And I was there for about 3 years until they laid me off, thank God.
3 years.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And you got there right out of college?
Right out of college, because I originally graduated college with a language degree in Spanish.
Really?
And
my wife has a degree in Spanish at IUP.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I originally wanted to teach eventually and get a master's, and then keep going to school and then teach college eventually. But after I graduated, a bunch of my buddies were living in Pittsburgh. So I was like, you know what? I just want to have some time off from school. I'm sick of studying. I'm just going to go down for a couple years, take some time off, and then go back to get my master's.
Yeah.
Well, obviously that doesn't work because you come down here, you start a life. I got an apartment, I got a car. Then bills started coming my way, and there's no way I can go back to school. So I just went down that sales path because I was able to get into a company with my Spanish degree because they needed bilingual customer service rep. So that was
were
the way.
You fluent?
Not anymore.
What you were though?
I was at one point. I don't think I would ever say I was fluent,
but proficient enough to be able to talk.
Exactly.
That's the same thing with her. Like she was able to communicate. She studied in Chile, and she that's what she says whenever people ask. She was like, I don't think I'm fluent, but because everywhere the language is different. She said that the language that she was talking, the language that they were speaking in Chile was completely different than what she was taught. So everyone has their own dialect.
Absolutely, and I feel like it's even more spread out in the Spanish speaking world as well.
Yeah,
because you can go over, because I did my study abroad in Spain, and then in Spain you have 3, maybe even 4 different dialects of how they speak over there, and it's more of like if you compare American English to European English.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So there's all kinds of accents. There's all kinds of
I mean, even different states. Like
exactly.
I mean, different states in the United States, you have people that sound completely different.
Yep. And so where I learned my Spanish language was completely different than where I was actually studying. So it was just a lot. But once you get the core, the core words and the flow of it, I'm
sure you could pick up.
Yeah. And I can still understand it. It's just speaking it,
probably takes a little bit longer, like her.
Yes,
like
exactly.
she'll if we ever watch like a movie where there's like Spanish or anything in there, I'll be like, "Can you understand that?" And she'll be like, kind of like she'll pick words up,
little words,
which she'll be able to like piece together a sentence rather than like hearing the absolute sentence. But that's super interesting. Like I took Spanish in school and I enjoyed it, but like I never pursued it further.
I hated it in high school.
Did you?
Yeah, I went all 4 years in high school. I hated it. My Spanish teacher hated me. The last day of like my senior year, I think I got kicked out of Spanish class because I just did not give a shit. And then it was weird because when I went to college, I didn't even go to college at first for language. I went for business, something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And what changed my mind is I started playing soccer a lot with the exchange students,
absolutely,
from all over the place, and they would all speak Spanish. We would go out, we would go to parties together, and I was like, man, I can't understand you guys. I'm going to take a Spanish class to, re-up, and I actually cared this time.
Yeah,
so I feel like when you
fell back into it,
exactly, and when you care about learning something, you learn it that much.
100%, dude.
You know what
like I mean? I went to Slippery Rock right out of school, right out of high school. Didn't give a shit about it. I went to school for elementary ed and special ed. Did good my first semester, failed out my second semester, and I was like, fuck this. I went and got a job, and then I was just like hating life working. Went back to school, and I was like, I actually want to do good now. Right. So then I ended up getting like a 3.8.
And that's exactly it.
It all depends on like the situation you're fucking in. So you told me before we were recording, you grew up around Sharon?
I did, yes. Sharon Hermitage area, about an hour and a half north of Pittsburgh.
The only reason I know about Sharon, PA is because of wrestling.
Okay.
They always had the wrestling tournament up there, Sharon, the Sharon Duels.
Okay.
But we would only go up there. Other than that, I would never know about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty small town. I mean, actually, the town that I'm from is technically Hermitage. Sharon's the neighboring town, which more people know about Sharon, but Hermitage is really, small farm town kind of.
Farm town type.
Yeah, but our claim to fame in Sharon is the world's largest shoe store, Ryers.
Really?
We have the Daffin's Candies, which is a very popular.
I've heard of them.
Chocolate factory, and then there's a real big women's department store called the Winner, and it's just a massive. It's almost like a old, like Nordstrom or something like that.
A big ass department store,
right? But it's just
what
so
was the
outdated.
shoe store you said?
The Ryers department store.
And what did what kind of shit do they sell?
It was all shoes. Any kind of shoes you could imagine.
Really?
Nothing like Yeezys or anything.
Like Jordans and shit. Did they have?
No.
Okay.
They had your New Balance.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Stuff like that.
I'm just trying to place it together.
Yes, sir.
So you said it was like a smaller area. Like, what was it like growing up? Like, what kind of shit were you into whenever you were younger?
Man, I was a skateboarder when I was growing up.
Everyone, dude. Anyone that ever is doing anything cool came up from the fucking roots of skateboarding.
Hell yeah. So music and skating and my tight group of friends was what I came up doing, because I was in all kinds of concert band, marching band, all that stuff.
Really?
I played sports up until high school, but then when I got into high school, I wanted to concentrate more on music.
Yeah.
And I was really never that good in any sport.
You were into music though whenever you were younger?
I was into music my whole life, to be honest.
What kind of shit were you into whenever you were like middle school and stuff?
Oh man.
Is it like Sum 41 like the rest of us are?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm just making it's easier to like place things together, like Newfound Glory, Sum 41. I feel like you were either into that type of shit or you were into like Usher, My Way. And
I was into that too.
I was into all that too. But the only reason I was into that is because my brother was 6 years older than me. He went to McKeesport, so if I didn't have an older brother, I don't think I would have any knowledge of hip hop music.
Yep.
He brought in, No Limit Soldiers, Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Absolutely.
I remember I would just take all these CDs, and just because your older brother's doing it. He was 6 years older, so he was the filter for cool shit.
Absolutely.
But I was into the same shit, Green Day, all that dumbass shit, and you're it's wild how it all crossed paths.
And you know what? And it's so crazy that it's like that, because I feel like I still am in that world of I like everything kind of, and it kind of spills over into what I do now as a DJ. To get to talk about that a little later, but definitely when I was growing up, and then especially when you're growing up, you don't know what you like, so you listen to everything. And you give everything a chance. Hopefully you do, and and you realize it's all real good. The hip hop's good. The emo music's good.
Everything
the pop punk
is good.
The hardcore is good. Even like metal. I was a metal kid at one point too. It's all really cool. And yeah, I guess that's where just my love of music stems from.
Yeah, and the people that all the different friends you have, they always open you up to different shit.
Absolutely.
All the cool shit.
I definitely had different groups of friends that listened to certain genres of music.
Yeah.
And I was definitely, I floated in between all that.
That's awesome.
For sure.
All right, so to open up the podcast, I do a segment. It's called What's in the Cup.
What's in the cup?
What's in your cup?
What's in my cup right now is this amazing natural artisan water that we call Fiji.
Now we're living the high class over here. I asked you what you wanted to drink, because I ask everyone. And you said I usually go for water, and I said, well, what brand? And you said I usually go for the 99-cent.
That's right.
But
I'm not that bougie.
We're splurging today.
We're splurging, man. I appreciate it. This is the finest water.
I'll call you right back. We do it big over here. We just hit 10,000 downloads. We're splurging. This is like the...
Oh, shit. Let's pop some bottles.
Yeah, this is like the Cristal pretending. So I'm going to take a sip of it.
Let's
it's been a while
cheers.
since I've had this.
Hey, cheers. Congrats.
I don't know, dude. I don't know what's... The only water that I've ever had that I would actively choose over was probably 8 or 9 years ago. I just remember being right out of high school. Sheetz had this bottled water that was real tall, and it looked like an ice, like a glacier.
Voss.
No, it wasn't Voss.
No.
Voss was in a glass bottle that was cylinder. I'm talking about this thing was like a textured bottle. And I was always a super typical consumer. Any bottles, I would buy the cool bottle and shit.
Right.
But that water was it tasted so good. But all the rest of the shit, dude, I'm the same way. 99-cent bottle. It's all the
I'll
same.
tell you what. I do respect Fiji, and even like any of the Evian stuff, because I drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
And I'm super super picky when it comes to it. But even the 99 cent stuff that's filtered, I can still taste a little bit of a difference when it comes to that. It's just, I don't even know how to explain it because I'm not like a water connoisseur, but I feel like you taste a little bit of like plastic.
There was a dude who was on here. His name was Ralph Martino, and he's like a yoga health guy. So he was like a 340-pound dude, and then he lost all this weight.
Okay.
And he's just a water fiend. So we talked about different types of water, and he loved Deer Park Natural Spring.
That's what I get all the time in cases.
That's his shit. And we were talking back and forth about the different types of waters, and he was talking about how some water has a creamy texture almost. Like it's more of like a thicker texture.
Okay.
And it's a weird way to describe it, but I feel like it's accurate because as he said that, I'll sometimes notice it. Some water is different to me. It tastes different, but I don't know. Fuck water. Fiji water. Anyway.
Fiji water. I'll say this. I even have a Brita at home that comes like straight up from the spout, and it filters it as it comes out. But even that, you can see some stuff in it, and it tastes good, but it doesn't. You can taste. To me, real good water tastes like absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
and it's just wet, cold stuff in your mouth, and it's just really good.
Absolutely.
And so Fiji, when I taste it, it's literally I taste nothing, and to that to me is good water. Yes,
makes sense. Now you said you played sports in school.
Up until high school, yeah.
What did you play?
Oh man, I think my parents wanted me to play everything. I was deck hockey. I was I didn't do anything football related, but I was basketball, baseball, deck hockey, even track and field. I was.
That's what's up.
Well, man, I can't even remember
That's one sport that I never did. I never did cross country.
Not
cross country. God, yeah, absolutely. I never did cross country.
Yeah. I never did that either. I can't go long distance like that.
Track and field though.
Track and field I did, and it was pole vault. Yeah.
You did the pole vault.
I did pole vault.
All right. Now, I'm glad you told me this because I got to ask some things about it. So pole vaulting is super interesting to me. I never met anyone I've never met anyone that's done it. So we're going to talk about that for a minute.
Okay.
I mean, who the fuck would I know who did it?
If I can remember this, I mean, I was in JV track and field, and I did pole vault, and I was with a couple of other guys, and we were like the three of us were like the top three in our school, and even in the county, I think they went on to like win states and shit.
Now, how do you even is it? I don't even understand how it works. Like, you run as fast as you can, tuck that thing in that little divot, and just kind of what do you do? How do you get your body over there?
So back then, when we were, that young, it was basically exactly what you said. Run as fast as you can, put the thing in the divot, and then hold on and pray that you get over that bar.
Yeah.
But, there's a whole science to it that, even after I stopped pole vaulting, I still kind of watched the sport, and I watched Olympians do it, and it's, you can
that's what I mean. How high do they go?
Like, man, like
the 18, Olympic people were fucking 20 foot high, and you could tell by the way that their timing is perfect. Like, the bar bends, and they just like ride that up there, and it's just insane.
So when we were doing it, the bar really didn't bend as much as they when you see it on TV, because we were kids, obviously. The bar bent a little bit, but we never went upside down to try to like get yourself over there. But there was a pole vault camp that we actually went up to in Slippery Rock. And I went up there with those guys, and this was like right before I quit, because I realized, I wasn't that good. when you get around people that are real good and you realize you're not on that
humbles
level,
you pretty quick.
It humbles you, and you're like, all right, I got to get out of here. But I remember, because they were like, all right, how high have you ever gotten? And we all said our numbers or whatever.
Do you remember like how high it was?
I think mine was like maybe 8 or 9 feet.
That's crazy to me.
But it wasn't, that's not high, like that's high for like a middle schooler, you know what I mean?
Still super interesting.
It's super interesting, but then when they started saying, okay, if that's your height, to get over that, you have to get upside down while you're in the pool. After you plant and the bar and the pool bends, you actually literally have to pull yourself upside down, make yourself straight up in the air, and then pull yourself, inverted, and then it. I'm like, no, fuck all that. I was like, this is when this is my chance to leave.
The reason I even asked that is because like the best water I've ever had in my life was water from football. You know, like football for some
From
reason.
the Gatorade things.
Yeah, that water tasted so fucking good. And I don't know if it's because we were so hot and
Probably
just dying.
that. Probably that.
But for some reason, it tasted what I would equate the water from the Water Boy tasting like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Always so cold, always so refreshing. But it was probably from the
'cause you're about
fucking
to die,
shower.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. 3 days heat.
Because well, it definitely wasn't Fiji in that.
Not a chance. It was Elizabeth Forward shower water. Anyway, so you go to like in high school and shit. Like, when did this DJing thing like kind of come into play? Were you doing this in high school?
No, DJ didn't even happen until like my last year of college.
So what kind of shit did you do in high school if you weren't playing sports or anything?
So if I wasn't playing sports, I was big into marching band. Basically,
Really?
if you watch like Drumline,
I know all about it.
That was me,
I've
baby.
always been fascinated by
That was
the
me.
formations that that they did. I
I
never
was
understood
super
it.
into that, man. I don't know what I really don't even know where it came from, but I was just super into, you know, the organized drum line.
Did you play drums?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Drumline. Even if you didn't play drums, the movie was mean as hell.
Oh, it's awesome. And then that's kind of where, so, and I definitely think, you know, growing up with music and being a drummer also helped in DJing now, because it's all timing and counting, and you know, you have to know how music works and how to
Absolutely.
count to be halfway decent in the DJ world. But yeah, man, I don't know what it was. I just love those snare drums.
Yeah.
And yep, it just was so cool. And then I actually wanted to, I don't know, it's like kind of weird for me that I'm kind of realizing anything I ever got involved with, I wanted to be super good at. So I would take it to a different level. I would go, you know, to pole vault camp, or I would go
Yeah.
to, you know, there's this thing in the marching band world called drum corps. And it's basically professional marching bands.
Oh, really?
And then they compete at like legit marching band competitions.
I don't understand now. Now, how did people how did the formations even come about? Like, is that shit like I've never been able to understand how that could even work. How do you keep your timing? How do you know where you're fucking going?
Oh man, I can't even answer that. I don't know where it came from, or you know how people. But literally, when I went to drum corps tryouts, because I actually did try to go and do this like professionally, like I tried to do everything. But when I went there, you quickly realized that you suck. Because there's really like good fucking guys out there doing this shit, and women. I don't want to discriminate, but they dedicate their lives to this shit, and you see that, and you're like, man, like I like this a lot, but I don't love it. But man, I saw they even have people that have nothing to do with the music playing, but they have the people that will route out the formations and basically blueprint it. From the start to finish.
That's insane.
This is where everybody goes, and this is what everybody has to do, and it has to be in time. And it's a different world.
Yeah,
honestly.
it's definitely wild to me. And I mean, the only extent I have of it is watching Drumline and seeing Orlando Jens, is that his name? Orlando Jens flipping out on Nick Cannon, and like seeing how like kind of crazy it was. And I mean, like I'm sure that movie is definitely like it kind of.
Oh, it's legit.
I mean,
it really is legit.
That's what I mean. I'm sure it kind of has like a feel of like what it's really like. I'm sure
absolutely.
It's just as crazy as like being on a football team, but
Absolutely.
just a little bit different.
And that's the thing too. Even when they were doing like the "I challenge you" to like your position in that's real.
That shit gives me the chills.
That's real, because there was at this drum corps tryout, there maybe was like I want to say 50 snare drum players, right?
Really?
And so the drum corps I think only has 9. As their final, if even 9.
Yeah.
So you got 50 guys competing against, a 9-slot line.
Yeah.
And there's 50 of them, like just trying to like mull you over and just prove
Probably
that they're better
super
than you.
intense.
So if you're that 9th guy, you got 40 other guys trying to get your spot,
right?
And they can just challenge you at any moment. I mean, like if you miss a beat, you're off the line. It's crazy.
Did you fuck up?
Oh yeah, dude, I wasn't even a part of that. They did. So at first there was like 80 people in a room that wanted to play snare drum, and then they were like, all right, we're gonna do like this one rudiment, and then they had the like the main guy walking around, and like if you were screwing up even a little bit, he'd be like, all right, you go to that side of the room, you go to that side of the room. By the time it was done, I was on the side where they're like, you guys have no chance in hell of making it, but you're still here for a week.
Yeah, still here.
So we're gonna put you in another room and like show you like literally the basics of, you know, professional drum corps.
Yeah.
And actually that helped me tremendously, because that was actually when they like focused on you, because they're like, you suck so bad, we really have to show you
kind of like hands on with you.
Yeah. So after that, I really thought, you know, I mean, I'm going to try next year and I'm going to be so good next year, but then it just never worked out.
That's wild though. I'm sure that the drumming shit has to play a huge role in the
really
DJing.
It really
I was
does.
just watching the video you sent me today, and you know, just like I know nothing of it. You know, I didn't really know. I came across you somehow. Someone reposted your shit, and I just watched one of them videos that you put together, you in your fucking room, and you know, it's wild. Like it's wild to see. So like, how long has your DJing career been? Like, when did you start?
I started in 2009, which was the year I graduated college.
Okay.
So 2009 to 2018. So basically,
Yeah.
you know, 10 years.
Yeah.
Let's say 10 years. But not professionally or just, you know, full time, I should say, until 2 years ago.
Yeah. So like, how did you get involved with it?
So the way I got involved with it is in college, at State College, Penn State, main campus. I was a big party guy, so I would go out, you know, all to all the bars, all the you know, wherever I could drink and get wasted, I would go. And you know, that comes along when you go out to the bars and you go out to parties, music is always involved, right?
Absolutely.
'Cause it's just the lifeblood.
It's the life of the party.
You know? So I would go out to all these places, and like, you know, music was always a big part of my life. I would hear, you know, hip hop. I would hear, you know, just good dance music, and I loved it. And that's kind of what kept me going all the time when I would go out. Because if you just go out to the bar, it's fun. If you're with a group of friends, it's fun to just, you know, go out and bullshit. But when you want to just go out with, you know, a date or something, and you just want to have fun, normally you're dancing, and if it really helps if there's good music.
Yeah.
So it's really important. And when I would go out on those dates, or, you know, just going out by myself or with my buddy, it was like, man, sometimes the music really sucked. And it was like, shit, I think I can do like this really well.
Yeah.
So at the time I looked at, you know, who was a good DJ, famous DJ, you know, you have your DJ AM, you have your DJ A-Track, you have, you know, all kinds of different DJs. And so what really appealed to me when I started looking into it was Diplo.
Oh, okay.
And Diplo was just really coming into, you know,
to what he is now,
his fame, or whatever you want to call it. And I was like, man, I really like his style. I really like the music he plays. I feel like, you know, there should be more of this in the bar, because he really at the time wasn't playing, you know, the top 40 hip hop stuff.
Yeah.
He was playing more of the underground electro. He was playing baile funk from down in Brazil. So, and I love that because it had to do with rhythm and beats, and being a drummer, I love that. And especially with language, even though it wasn't Spanish, it was Portuguese. And I was just like, man, this is really cool. I like this a lot. And so I kind of decided to kind of role modeled off of Diplo and what he was using and what he was playing and all that stuff. So I was like, all right, I figure out who I wanted to kind of shadow. So what's he using? What kind of equipment is he using? And back then he was using turntables.
He
was actually using like Technique 1200 turntables and a Pioneer 4-channel mixer. And so I was like, all right, so what I need.
Actual vinyl? Was he using actual vinyl?
So he was not using actual vinyl at the time, but in 2009 there was a program called Serato.
Okay.
And that's right now, there's a couple different DJ software companies. Serato is the top of the line with it when it comes to that.
Okay.
And that's arguable with another company called Tractor, and then there's another one called Record Box, but Serato is number one, and it's number one industry standard in my eyes, in my opinion. So I got that. So you're using real vinyl, but it's vinyl that has a time code on it that you're able to use through your computer and put your MP3s on vinyl.
Now, the only reason I know of this is I have a friend who, he was a DJ for a while, and I got to fuck around with it in his room and shit like that. And it would just be a regular blank, like a colored vinyl or whatever. And I got to see, the lines on there where you would be able to like try to scratch and get your timing back. So that's the only like extent that I know of it. But I see what you do, and like on those videos that you have, is that the time coded vinyl that you have?
Yep, time coded vinyl. I don't use any real vinyl, because so there's real vinyl and time code vinyl. It's the same material. It's the same. It's record. It's a record. It's vinyl. But instead of a time coded vinyl, just has a tone on it that runs through your computer system, like the programming, and it computer magic puts your MP3 on that time code.
Yeah.
Real vinyl, obviously everybody knows what a record is. I don't use that in my sets. I have real vinyl, but to be able to change your music and make quick adjustments.
That makes sense.
Is now what DJs do.
Yeah, you cut the time out by using the electronic version rather than you just like switching out a whole record and like putting another one on there.
And also bringing crates of records out to a club.
Like the old school style.
It just changed the game. So I actually was fortunate enough that when I got involved with DJing, that was already out. So I never had to spend a fortune on, records
of different ones.
A lot of what guys used to do is they used to be involved in record groups, so they would all pitch into their group, and they would all have a bunch of records. So if anybody was playing out that night, they could take the records out.
Yeah,
and
everyone could pull their shit together.
Exactly.
That's smart.
Yeah, it was kind of like that, and that's kind of where the idea of a record pool comes from now. But I'm getting ahead of myself.
I mean, that's all right. What's a record pool?
Yeah, so I was just gonna say, we're gonna jump from that to recent days. A record pool, basically, without going on too much of a tangent, is a place where DJs can get music effortlessly and without. Okay. It's basically a website you go to, and whatever you're looking for is on there, and you basically just click download, and it goes right into your library.
Now, what's the benefit of that? Now, is that legal to get the shit from there?
It is legal. I actually work for one of the best record pools out there right now. They're called BPM Supreme.
I see all this shit you're promoting with them.
So I've been with them for a few years. Just recently, they have asked me to become one of their brand ambassadors.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's been super dope, and I wouldn't want to be involved with any other record pool, to be honest. But they literally have the biggest library that a DJ could want if you're getting involved with a record pool. And because it's legal, it's because they have rights to that music, and it's you pay a monthly subscription to it.
Okay.
So a DJ is going to pay $20 a month to have
the access to be able to download anything like that.
Exactly.
And then the alternative, if you don't want to pay that, it's like people just download it. That's
Absolutely.
What I was going to ask you, is if like you were like, I'm sure back in the day, like probably part of the pirating world.
Yes.
And you have to be, because you literally can't afford 99 cents a song.
Now it's like $1.99 or $2.99 a song.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So if you think you're going to download at least 20 songs a month, which for me, if I go online and I start looking at music, I'm downloading 20 songs a day.
One time. Yeah, one time
a day.
Yeah.
And depending on how long or how many days a month you go digging for music, you're looking at hundreds of dollars.
And you can get lost in it, because and it depends on how deep you go with the torrenting and the pirating, because like my brother, he was definitely ahead of it for him, because I would always remember he would download whole libraries though, and just come home with external hard drives of movies and just music for us to watch, and it kind of it was nuts to me to see that was possible in the whole world of torrenting. So I always wondered with DJing if that was a roadblock for a lot of people, because if you're not, I guess with you just said you could pay $20 a month to be part of this. that's a safer way to go than just pirating all this shit.
Oh, absolutely. And plus, when you're involved with like a company like BPM Supreme or any record pool, no matter what it is, they're always going to give you the high quality versions of those songs.
Oh, that makes sense.
And
too.
so when you're ripping stuff off of Torting or SoundCloud or wherever, you don't know if you're getting the 320 quality or you're getting
that's a real
9.
good point. That's
you know
a real
what I
good
mean?
point.
And so then when you play it out of your computer, it might sound good, but then when you get on a big system in a club, it's going to sound like static, and you're really going to be in some shit.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
You want to, if this is what you do, and you want to make it sound good, you definitely need to invest in not even your equipment, but the music you play as well.
Absolutely. So you coming out of school, you said you graduated college, and then this DJ shit started to happen. What were some of your first gigs?
Oh man, first gigs. Well, coming out of school, I never DJ'd. So I got involved with DJing in college. I never DJ'd anywhere in college because obviously I was.
Was it like parties and shit like that?
It was. It was house parties when I actually moved to Pittsburgh.
That's dope, though. Yeah. I mean, I've been to a few. I mean, I don't drink or nothing, but like going to parties, like I always went. So the music and shit was definitely like part of the reason that I liked being there because like I wasn't going there for the alcohol and shit. So if you had a good DJ that was like fucking killing it, playing dope ass shit, that had the whole party like alive.
Exactly.
So I mean, I guess that's a good way to like start it out. Like you got friends around, you got safe space kind of, and then you got new people to come in.
Yep.
Yeah, new people to come in, and a good place to learn, like you said.
Absolutely. So we did house parties in Lawrenceville, actually, before Lawrenceville was where everybody wanted to be. Yeah. It was, I remember it was Carnegie Street. I forget the address, but it was my buddy's place. Like 4 of my buddies lived there, and they would always throw these bangers like once a month. And, they would always be like, hey, you want to play some music? And I was like, absolutely. And we really turned it into a pretty cool spot. And then as soon as it got a little bit too big, my buddy was like, hey, you know what? I know some people down at Remedy in Lawrenceville. And he was like, we can start doing stuff there. And, instead of it being here where the cops might come, we can do it legit, on the second floor of Remedy. So that's where we started.
That's dope.
Yeah, man.
And that was in what year?
Man, that was 2010.
So you've been doing this shit for a good bit of time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know how I've not come across to you beforehand.
Well, I'll be honest. In 2010, when we were doing this, it was only once a month, and I wasn't too loud about it because I was still new. It was still kind of just a hobby, and it was just something fun to do because we didn't really make money doing it, and it was just something that
you liked,
that we liked to do. And it was kind of more of, we didn't promote it to the public as much as we promoted it to our friends. So it was more like, okay, we're not going to do it in a house anymore. We're just going to do it, down in Lawrenceville in this small like bar space, which was awesome because then from that, even though we weren't vocal about it, word of mouth started to spread.
Absolutely. And
then it grew until we outgrew that space, and then we moved down the street to Belvedere's.
That's dope. Now, while you're doing this, in the beginning of 2010, like what's a right way to phrase it? Like how long until you were proficient in DJing, would you say, to where you could like go up there and you were like confident in what you were doing?
I'd say, well, by the time we started at Remedy, I would say I was confident enough. From doing the house parties. I thought, I know what I'm doing. I know I'm, halfway decent. I'm not great, but I'm not bad.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I know I'm gonna do an hour or 2 hour party, I know I could do a good job, and I'll be okay.
Now, if you have a 2 hour party, what's like your preparation for that? Like, do you prepare before you go to a place, or is it kind of like while you're there, while you're feeling the vibe, you just mix shit together?
So both. So right now, like fast forward 10 years into where I am now, there's different types of DJ nights. There's a theme night that I do at Belvedere's, which would be like, the Drake night.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get into. I saw you did Drake, saw you did Dirty South. I saw you just did this animal for the Wildfire Animal Fund
California Love, West Coast stuff.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the exact name, but explain a little bit what that is real quick.
So those parties, if I'm planning those parties, those are pretty much already mapped out with what I'm going to play because I've worked on those before.
Yeah.
And those are almost like mini they're like mini shows almost.
That makes sense.
You're not going to go to a club and want to hear Drake all night. You know what I mean? So those are kind of like, we treat it more as like a mini concert than a club night because,
And is it strictly Drake?
It's pretty much it's Drake, but like if Drake's on a track with like somebody else or Nicki Minaj, it all like kind of comes into play and it goes up and down. And and that's why those nights are kind of more planned out than just a normal club night.
Yeah.
Because I have to figure out, okay, at 10 o'clock when the night starts, you're not playing the bangers. So you have to make sure because there's a good flow
wave
to the night. So for those kind of nights, I plan it out. It's pretty much
so you got the bangers and all the checkpoints.
So those nights flow really well. Those are theme nights. If you're looking at a club night or just being in a bar and DJing in a bar, then yes, you're going to have to just feel it out. You're going to need to see who's in the bar, who's dancing, who's not, what kind of bar it is, and then you're going to have to make adjustments from there. But since I've been playing for 10 years, I have those sets where if I'm at a bar in the South Side, I know what to play. If I'm at a club in the Strip District, I know what to play. If I'm in Vegas, I know what to play.
And everything's different. Like all the different crowds, I'm sure
it's all different. And that's crazy because when you first get into DJing, you're like, and that's what I did too. When I first got into DJing, I was like, all right, I just want to be like Diplo, and all he plays is electro stuff. And then when you do that, you need to understand especially if you're from a place from Pittsburgh, you're not going to walk into a bar on the South Side and play what Diplo plays.
Absolutely not.
And pretend like you're going to be great.
WAPO and shit like that bumping. People don't want to hear that.
They don't want to hear, or they don't want to hear, they want to hear the top four. They want to hear what's on the radio.
Yeah,
they want to hear
sure.
what they know, and they want to hear what they want to listen to while they drink and get wasted, not what you think is cool.
Yeah. Now, how do you separate from that? Like, I'm sure that there's some shit that you hate playing that is super popular to the crowd.
Yeah.
And that's just shit you got to bite the bullet for.
That shit you got to bite the bullet for, and every DJ is different.
Yeah.
But that's why a lot of DJs will say this. If you are thinking about getting involved with DJing or doing anything music related, number one thing, step one, is love music.
Yeah.
Because if you don't love music, if you only like one genre of music even, then forget this because you're never gonna enjoy it.
That makes sense.
And that's like the number one golden rule of DJing. And what DJs say to people thinking about getting involved. Because even though I love music, even those cheesy songs, I like those cheesy songs. You know what I mean? So I'll play those cheesy songs and I'll enjoy it. But if I had to play those cheesy songs and absolutely despise them, I'm not gonna have fun. And it's like working in an office or a cubicle that you hate too. If you hate it, you're never going to have fun. And if you like working in a cubicle, then you're going to enjoy working in a cubicle or working in an office or whatever you're doing in life. If you're not 100% enjoying yourself, get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
that makes sense.
Of course, I play those cheesy songs and you got to know what people want to hear. You play your old school rock jams that your dad used to listen to in a car because and people relate to that shit.
That's exactly.
And they drink and they take shot. The bar loves it.
There's different songs that take you back to different places.
Exactly.
And some people it's good, some people it's bad. Now, do you have negative? Like, have you had negative reactions of?
Oh yeah,
I'm sure you do.
Oh,
I'm sure
God,
you got. Like, how do you deal with the drunk people?
Oh, dude, that's a whole different story.
I'm sure it's like beating away fucking stray cats.
Yeah. You know what? Oh, yeah. I mean, this is a DJ's worst nightmare.
I mean, it has to be because and the reason I asked that, again, I don't fucking drink. So me being in the bar,
yeah.
That's why I can't go to a bar because I just want to start choking people to death.
Yeah, it's terrible.
If you're up there fucking working and you got someone, what, play this, play it. And like, I would, like, I don't know if I'd be able to, just be like, get the fuck away from me. Like,
it's like, it's with any job.
I guess, yeah.
You have your cons for sure, and you have to work through it. Everybody's got their own way to work through it. Me, I'm kind of nice about it though. You never want.
I feel no animosity from you whatsoever. You
Yeah.
seem like a very nice guy.
Yeah,
Very welcoming.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really, I will be nice to you up until the point where I need to not be nice to you. So I've only done that a couple times.
Yeah.
And really, when it comes down to that, you kind of just look them straight in the face and say, "Listen, if you don't get away from me, you're going to be taken out of here."
Yeah,
you know,
for
so
sure.
I'm getting security on you. Leave me the fuck alone. Last warning. You know?
I mean, I couldn't imagine.
But that's it. But sometimes they'll come up and they'll just be like, "Yeah, play this, play that," and you say, "Okay, and then
they
you nod,
forget
and then
about
you
it.
just don't play it. You know what I mean? You just have to know how to
Deal with people.
deal with it. You know,
Absolutely.
Just smile in their face, nod, and then maybe they'll go away. If they come back the second time, say, "Okay, yeah, I'm getting to it." Yeah, and then if they come back a third time is when you need to say, "Shut the fuck up, like leave me the
It's
fuck
like,
alone."
I'm working here.
Yeah, like you start DJing then.
Absolutely. Why don't you do it? Now, what about drummer versus DJ?
Drummer versus DJ, man, yeah, that was awesome.
Now, you've been doing it for how long?
So me and my buddy Dylan have been doing that competition ever since it became a competition.
Dylan Wood.
Dylan Wood.
Wood.
Yes,
Wood,
sir.
okay.
Shout out Dylan.
That dude's nasty on some drums.
He is crazy.
He
He's
really
crazy.
is nasty. And I mean, I was just, anytime I have someone on this podcast, I pretty much I creep the fuck out of everyone's
Hell
social
yeah.
media.
Yeah.
And I just see what kind of makes them tick. And I saw the video of your drummer versus DJ, and like, he is a fucking murderer. You're a murderer on there, and you
Thanks,
guys
man.
work well together.
Yeah, we really do. And it's kind of crazy that like we kind of crossed paths when it came to this competition, because it was basically made for us.
Yeah.
I mean, this competition was basically from the get-go, we're, undefeated 5-time champs at this thing.
No big
I mean,
deal
it's
or
crazy. Yeah, no big deal.
No
I'm
big deal or nothing.
I'm not boasting or nothing. But no, for real. Like once we got together and started on down this journey, it was basically whatever we did, we couldn't do no wrong.
Yeah.
I mean,
So what is it? Like, I don't understand exactly.
So I just want to shout out also Ryan Brown, RB. He's the one who put this together, put this night together.
Yeah.
Faresh brand is his street clothing.
Yeah,
brand.
I'm familiar with him.
Yep. So he's got a lot of nights at Spirit that he does, and this is one of them. And it started out as just a dance night, and he would just ask a DJ and a drummer to get up on stage for half an hour. The DJ plays some music, and the drummer plays along. And it was awesome. It was really good. It got a lot of people together, and It started to kind of feel more like a competition before it was even a competition, because he had different DJs and different drummers. So you're like, okay, group one go up and then they're done. And then another group go up and then they're done. And then at the end of the night, everybody's like, oh man, well, I liked what they did a little better than what they did.
Absolutely.
So, and then, I went there for, I think it was like the first time it was ever a competition, and I saw it and I was like, and
you didn't perform the first time?
We did not perform the first time because he asked me to judge.
Oh, okay.
I was one of the judges for the first time, and I didn't know Dylan at the time.
Okay.
So I went there and I judged, and I was like, man, this is awesome.
Yeah, I never really seen nothing like that.
Yeah, and so it's super, super, super dope for Pittsburgh. And then as soon as that one came out, RB was like, "Hey man, you want to get involved in this?" I was like, "Absolutely," but I don't have a drummer. So he's like, "Don't worry about that. I'll take care of it. We got some people that are interested in doing this as a competition. So let me get back to you in a couple weeks." And I remember, just thinking about it, and out of nowhere, he just sent me one of Dylan's YouTube videos. He was like, "I think I found your drummer. Tell me what you think about this." And I was like, "Oh, you're fucking kidding me? Like, yeah, let's do it like
dude.
right now."
Shit is wild.
So yeah, and so then the first time we ever did it, we won, and it's been the rest is history.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, man.
You guys are the OGs of it. Now, what is like the template of it? Like, you guys get how long? Half hour?
It started out as a half hour, but that's a long time to be up there doing, especially performing as a competition. If I was just up there playing music and he was playing along, we could do that all night. But what Dylan and I do, we perform. It's a performance.
Yeah.
It's a competition, and what we can do in 30 minutes is basically take a 4-hour set and condense it into that, and that's why I feel like when people see us play, they realize why we've won so many times, because
it's the spark notes of it all. There's no fluff. It's all just like raw shit.
And it's all we practice it, we perfect it. It's basically like,
well, that's what I was gonna ask. You guys practice?
Oh my god, absolutely.
Okay, I mean, it looked like it, but I didn't want to be like,
Oh no, and that's the thing. A lot of people will. Well, nowadays I say this year everybody practiced because they understood. They saw
you guys
what we
weren't
did.
fucking around.
No, you can't just get up there and play music and have a drummer beat to the music and expect to even place, because that doesn't happen anymore. But yeah, absolutely, we practice, and how we do it is I'll come up with the initial mix.
Yeah.
So and it decreased now from a half an hour to 20 minutes.
Okay.
So I'll come up with a 20-minute mix. I'll record it and I'll send it to Dylan, and then Dylan will practice it for a week, and then we'll get together up until like 3 weeks before the competition, and we'll practice probably like twice a week for 3 weeks leading up to the competition.
That's dope. Now, what's the winner get?
So this year, RB has changed the format of the competition in the past couple of years. This year was the first year he did it as a tournament.
Yeah.
So he's kind of taken the format of like a Red Bull 3 style competition, and it's basically like a football tournament. So everybody starts out
like
in
a
brackets.
bracket.
Yeah, and then process of elimination, you work down to the last bracket. So he did it, I think, every quarter. So every 3 months, he had 4 teams go up, and the winner of that advanced to the final. And so we went last year in March, won our round, and then had to wait until December to do it again as the final. And that was just in December, and we won. And then the winner got $2,000 and
holy shit,
to split.
Yeah.
And then wrestling belts.
You guys got wrestling belts.
Yeah, legit
Fuck
wrestling
the
belts.
money. You got the wrestling.
Yeah. We actually have 2 wrestling belts now, because before it was a tournament, it was just a like a one-off. Like winner goes on until somebody beats the winner, but we never lost, so we would just have that. We have that belt, so now we have
dope.
2 belts. Yeah,
That's super
Pretty
sick. I think it's definitely different whenever you have live music in anything. Like for instance, I went to see Wiz at Burgettstown, and like he has that Cushion Orange Juice band, and like it's just so much. It's just a whole different ball game whenever there's live instruments in there.
Absolutely.
And the drumming, it's like everything,
right?
And I'm sure you being with him, you're in your glory, just like watching him and doing all that shit, because that's your shit as well.
And I was never ever that good, even close to being that good. So just seeing him do that shit was wild.
Yeah, and have someone who is that good at anything that you were ever into, and being able to watch someone like that, it's incredible to see. Yeah, it really is. Now, so what do you do now? You said that you've been doing this, you're full time for a couple years now. Now, where do you travel all over to DJ?
Yeah, so recently in the last year, I've been traveling more. I've been a few places like Boston, different places down in Florida. But I feel like now working with BPM, they're stationed out of San Diego. Okay. So I've been to San Diego a couple times for them, and played out there a couple times at a college bar. So yeah, I'm starting to travel a little bit more. But to be honest, I really like just being local and doing local stuff.
I'm a homebody, man. I don't blame you.
So I hate traveling. I'll do it, but I hate traveling.
I'm sure it's sick to go every once in a while.
Oh, definitely. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I do like getting out of Pittsburgh every now and then to do something DJ related for sure. Whether it be, we did a DJ panel discussion in Orlando last month with BPM Supreme, and that was so awesome to be a part of, because you get to go and see a different city and their local talent come together and network, but at the same time, they also realize who I am and see who I am and have questions for me, which is amazing, because I love helping anybody I can with this DJ stuff. And it's very humbling when somebody says, man, I see your videos, I listen to your mixes, you're killing it. You inspire me to work on my DJing. And that to me is like the biggest part of it when it comes to the reward I get for doing my because I don't get paid for the videos that I put on Instagram. Yeah, I get paid for doing parties at Belvedere's and in the city and doing a club night. But what I put out on social media, yes, it helps me get booked and it helps get me recognition, but I don't get paid when I post up a video.
Yeah.
So when people say, hey, I appreciate that, it's motivating me, it's inspiring me, that's the biggest. That's where it really comes into play, because that's why I do that shit.
Man.
Hell yeah.
I mean, not everyone's getting paid to put shit up on their Instagram, but like you could tell you're having fun while you're doing that. You know, you're fucking you have a personality on stage. I mean, from the videos and watching your performances, you could tell that you're like you're in it. You know,
and that's one of the main things that people tell me all the time. Is like, we can tell you enjoy it, you're having fun.
Yeah, you could tell people that are just like having fun. You know, you could tell that you're like a professional at your craft. Like you could tell that you know what's going on. I mean, it's wild for me to be someone who has no experience of it, but have been able to play with it a little bit and to see how difficult it is. Like I feel like, for people to just see it online is one thing, but
for sure.
to be able to play with it and see that you can't fuck with it, it makes you have a new respect for it.
Absolutely.
So like I just kicked that fucking table. You hear like you were playing that Justin Timberlake thing, and you were making the beat just through that beat pad, and it's just like, so you program all those things yourself?
Well, so those are all, notes and beats inside the actual track already.
Yeah.
But what you can do with that software is hot cue different points of the song.
Yeah, and like place it where you want it and shit.
And live remix it, yeah.
Yeah, see, like that shit is so sick to me, and I think my first appreciation for DJing came from like dubstep. You know, like I was super big into dubstep, like right out of like high school and shit, just like every fucking person, I guess.
Absolutely.
And just like I remember I would just watch Bass Nectar just like do his performances, because there was a video where he had cameras right above like his turntables, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, like hundreds of buttons, and this dude knows like where everything is.
Yeah.
And then you have like videos, one of them viral vines is the people playing Fireflies by Owl City on that
MIDI pad,
on that MIDI pad, and like that kind of shit was just always something awesome to me. Like I loved that.
Yeah,
that's definitely dope.
And now with Pioneer DJ2, with what they're coming out with that mixer that I use that you saw in the videos, like the technology of what you're able to do with music now is so beyond what I was even able to do with it, even with Serato 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So they're coming out with like incredible things to do with music, which is a great thing for a DJ. So, in this new age of DJing, you want to be open to change, because a lot of guys will be stuck in that. Some guys are still stuck in that vinyl stage, and there's nothing wrong with that, but they'll talk shit on the new technology coming out and say, that's not like real DJing or whatever, but it kind of is real DJing, because that's what people want to hear, So it's like when the new stuff comes out and you want to be on top of it, don't sleep on that shit, because that is what the new DJing is.
I mean, that's what they make it for, right?
That's what they make it for. And, just because they're still making vinyls and still old phono mixers doesn't mean you still need to use those.
I mean, like, you have it with everything, though. Like, you have it with skateboarders, you have it with, rappers, you have it with everything. People are always going to they always fear the new shit that's coming in. They're always afraid that the young guy's there to fucking take their spot. But, I mean, it's understandable.
They are. Like, let's be real. They fucking are.
It is.
So you better be on top of your shit.
Literally in everything you look at. Like, we always, I've had Beckham on here, and we've talked about, like, skateboarding. Yeah. People, someone on here asked me, he was like, what do you... I can't remember who asked me, but we had comparisons to like LeBron and Michael Jordan and like shit like that. And I compared, like, whenever people say like LeBron is compared to Michael Jordan, I say like, yeah, it's like apples and oranges though, because like it's almost like comparing Rodney Mullen to Nyjah Houston.
Right.
It's like Rodney Mullen was like that was the dude who started it all.
Exactly.
But Nyjah Houston will shit all over Rodney Mullen right now.
Absolutely.
But there would be no Nyjah Houston without the shit that Rodney Mullen started to get into works.
Without a doubt.
You know what I mean? And like you can understand how people hate on that, but I mean, you just got to embrace change.
Yeah. And people are going to hate it on it, but change is it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
And it depends on how you react to it.
That's exactly it. You could either deal with it and adapt and use it to your benefit and bust your ass and work well with it, or you could just hate on it and stay sour and bitter. That's it. I wanted to touch on one other thing before I get to the last segment. You did that wildfire fund.
Yes.
Now tell me what this was again.
So this was a benefit we did down at Belvedere's. We like to try to do. I try to like to do a benefit once a year, just for whatever's going on in the world.
Yeah.
But this year, the wildfires really hit me for some reason, because I think because of me going out to California the last couple times this year, and San Diego and like LA and the Bay Area, I met a lot of DJs this year from that area, and when I saw it on TV, everybody heard it, but I watched the news, and it was a legit disaster out there.
Absolutely,
and it kind of just hit me. There's all kinds of different things that are going on right now. You have the earthquakes, the hurricanes, all the disasters, but I don't know. This one kind of just hit me in a little different way, just because. Like I said,
you're able to connect to it out there.
I connected out there, and I also had that night of the West Coast, music that I can bring to the East Coast. So I was like, you know what, we haven't done a California Love for a while. I feel like it'd be good, especially around Christmas time. Whoever's in need, you want to try to
absolutely
help. Try to get into the spirit this year. But it was just something I wanted to do. Belvedere's loves benefit nights, so they're all about it too. And so we just did a little benefit to help raise some money. We were able to dude. Thank you. We were able to raise $600, and we split that between a wildfire support group, and then also an animal shelter that's helping the animals that are either been
abandoned or
affected or anything like that.
You read so much fucked up shit. Animal shelters burning down with hundreds of animals in there, and it's heartbreaking. I have a buddy that moved over there from Pittsburgh a couple years ago, so I know a couple people that live over there now. So you're just like, if you didn't have anyone over there, it might be easy to just like let that pass through your mind and not consider it that scary. But hearing him out there and him sending pictures of just like the fog or the smoke and shit that's just like residual.
Yep.
You're just like, Jesus, dude, that's insane.
And that's the thing. I know a few DJs out there that they would go out to their nights to DJ with masks on. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's crazy. So
really
they weren't
insane.
affected where they would need support like that, but there are people that need that kind of help. And even if it's something small, it's better than nothing.
Better than nothing,
so
dude.
I was like, screw it, let's do something to help. I just wanted to do something this year before the new 2019 came around.
It's very nice of you. Now, what's next on your list, dude? Like, what do you got going on next? Like, what's on your agenda?
Man, so Belvedere's is going strong. I'm there once a week. Either a Friday or Saturday. It goes back and forth every week. So your theme nights are going to still be going strong in 2019. I'm working closer with BPM Supreme now. So I'll be, traveling a little bit more with some events going around the country, involved with them. So maybe some showcases, maybe some club nights that BPM Supreme sponsor. I'll be doing any kind of one-offs, bars, clubs, whether it's in Pittsburgh or traveling anywhere else. I'm always accepting booking offers, to my social medias or emails or whatever like that. So a lot of stuff is...
There's potential for
a lot, but I already have a lot. So we're working on a new night right now for Belvedere's, which is a Thursday night.
Okay.
But it's going to be every Thursday. I think if it gets the green light, I think we're going to start promoting it in January, and it'll happen in February.
All right.
Which I don't know if you're familiar with, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, it was called 80s Night.
Yeah.
And it was like the big Thursday night place to be. So after the fire that Belvedere's had, they renovated, and now that 80s night has kind of been dying out, so they want something new to come in on Thursday nights, and
breath of fresh air.
We're in talks right now of maybe doing something new to see if it picks up some steam and is popular with like a younger crowd, a younger Lawrenceville crowd, maybe a college crowd as well. So we'll see. So if that happens too, I'll have Well, we do a Wednesday night at Belvedere's. We do a Thursday. We might be doing a Thursday night at Belvedere's, and then a Friday and a Saturday back-to-back rotating weeks. So Belvedere's is definitely my home away from home. But then we're also traveling Monday through Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, depending on if BPM is having an event or if I'm driving out to Baltimore or something like that for a one-off at a venue out there or something like that. So
you're grinding.
Pure grinding, man.
That's all there
Pure
is.
Fucking.
It's got to keep moving. I don't know how people are just sitting at home on their fucking couch not doing a damn thing.
Dude, I'll tell you what, though. The last couple of weeks, that's what I have been doing.
Don't get me wrong.
It feels amazing.
I do it. But
to be honest with you, I should be working a little harder towards the end of the year here. But, Pittsburgh is kind of hard when the weather changes. I definitely feel that, that seasonal depression kick in. So it definitely
cold as hell.
Yeah. And so in January, it's kind of hard. February is a little better. March kind of back into it, and then
that's when you start dusting the cobwebs off.
And that's when it gets back into it. But I'm going to try my hardest this holiday season not to let that happen. But I have been playing a lot of video games lately. Just at the end of this section, I'm a huge video game guy, so I just finished.
Wait! We're about to get into it.
Oh, okay.
Am I jumping ahead? We're
Okay.
jumping into it because I know what you're going to say. So. The ending segment that I do on this podcast. Are you a fan of The Office?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, so they get locked out of the office. They play Desert Island Questions. I like to play Desert Island Questions with all my guests. So I'm going to play with you right now.
All right.
Now, Desert Island Questions, I give each guest 3 categories, and I give them 3 choices for each category. Okay, so the categories are movies.
Okay.
Video games,
okay,
and then music. So the first category is you get to take 3 choices on a desert island to watch, and that could be whole seasons, movies, TV shows, anything. 3 of them.
3 of them. All right. Whew. This is tough.
It is tough.
So I'm a big. I stopped watching movies. Unless it's like super quick. So I'm definitely a series guy now.
Okay.
I definitely love binge watching series. So for 3, I gotta say Game of Thrones is number 1.
Okay.
I gotta watch, even though I've watched it 3 times all the way through.
I have not watched it yet.
I just, you have to have that.
Everyone's Desert Island Questions is fucking Game of Thrones, and I haven't got into it yet.
Dude, do yourself a favor.
I know, but I'm gonna just wait till it's over so I can binge it. I know I have enough to binge now, but like. That's a lot to get into this second.
It really is. But that's got to be number 1.
The tattoo artist that was just on here last week, he says he has a fucking map at home where he puts little figurines to try to keep tabs in his head where all the characters are.
Oh, yeah, hell. Dude, and there's like, I don't know, you said you didn't drink, but Johnny Walker, the Scotch company, just came out with a whole line.
I saw all that. My friends are big, and I mean, it's not like I'm not like against alcohol. It's just I'm not a big drinker.
No, and that's but I'm saying like Game of Thrones franchise is humongous.
Well, my buddy had the wine from them. He had a picture last year. He had a bunch of wines. I think his grandmother bought him a bunch of them or something.
Yeah. But, it's crazy. I honestly think people are going to be legitimately depressed and like get on Xanax and shit.
Whenever it's ending?
When it ends.
Yeah, it's going to be like that Avatar syndrome or whatever.
Yep.
Okay, so you got Game of Thrones.
That's number 1, though. Man, I'm really into like these Netflix series, but they're not that long.
Which ones?
Like Ozark is fucking awesome.
Oh my god,
fucking love that.
Unreal.
But I don't know if I would take it on a desert island because it's only 2 seasons.
That show gives me the most anxiety,
but it's great.
It is so good.
I'd say Breaking Bad.
That's a good one.
Because I can watch that. It doesn't matter and I've watched that again, but
if it's on TV, you can just watch it.
It's
Any episode is really, really good.
And then those are 2 like big dramas. I think I would need like a comedy or something. I probably would say The Office, actually.
Okay, that's good.
Because this is like the same thing. You put it on, it doesn't matter what episode it is.
Does not matter. That's my background music. Like if I'm editing or if I'm just fucking around here cleaning, it's just on. Sometimes if I'm at work, I'll just put an episode on and just listen to it.
So good.
And it's just so good.
And it's great because like even now I'll watch new movies and new series with the old characters.
Oh yeah,
and I'll be like, man, no,
Yeah.
that's Dwight from The Office, but they're great actors, and they're great actresses, and
it's still weird though because like you watch
Yeah.
A Quiet Place with John Krasinski.
Yeah.
That's Jim.
It's
All
Jim.
right? It's Jim.
and Jim's like, this is after The Office, you know
I
what
know,
I mean?
and it's so weird. Well, I just watched that. It's called Beautiful Boy, and it's about Steve Carell has a son who's addicted to crystal meth.
Oh, okay, I did
And
see
the
the previews for
mother
that, yeah.
is Holly from The Office, so it's
Yep.
super depressing because it feels like you're watching like a fucked up version of The Office after The Office,
Yes.
where like
It's like,
Michael
what
Scott
the hell
fucked his kid up, and you're just like, geez. But probably one of the most depressing movies I've ever seen. Anyway,
But
second
definitely.
category, I usually ask people 3 books to take with them, but since you said you're a video game guy, that's usually
Yeah.
my consolation question. So 3 video games.
All right, so 3 video games. I gotta say, well, like I said before, we got into this
Red
section,
Dead.
Red Dead 2.
I'm 22% in.
Oh my god, dude!
It's too hard for me to like try to have time to like play it.
So this is why I feel like I get into not even a slump around the holidays, but when a good video game comes out, it takes all of my time.
So you're a video game guy though.
Only when it comes to the ones I want to play.
Yeah, see, like I am not at all. I play no video games. The last video game I actively played from beginning to end was The Last of Us. But before that, it was probably GoldenEye for
Okay.
N64.
Okay,
I
yeah.
never play video games, but all my friends were like, this Red Dead game is going to be the most insane thing of all time.
And
And
do
I
you
love
think
Westerns. Oh my God,
it's
is it
fucking amazing,
insane.
isn't it?
My wife will sit here and just watch it.
It's a fucking movie.
It really
It is a
And
movie.
You're just like, Jesus. And like I would spend $60 just to be able to hunt and fish.
Oh, dude, I know. It's crazy.
It was just unreal. So like the game is awesome, like through all the way.
The whole way to the end.
Now, what about the online? Have you played that at all?
I have played the online.
People said it sucks.
right
say
now
it
it
gets
does.
boring.
Right now it does because it's only the beta,
Yeah.
and I feel like
It'll probably get better, but like,
And I'll tell you this: I haven't watched. I haven't played like GTA 5. I love that game too.
yeah. See, I hated mine. I hated playing Grand Theft.
I liked Grand Theft, but I didn't like the online. I never really liked the online, but I feel like that is better than Red Dead Online is going to be. I just don't know.
Well,
Like,
there's more shit to do in Grand
Yeah,
Theft Auto. I mean,
exactly.
what the fuck are you going to do back in the West? Like, I'm going to go steal a wagon or rob a bank. You know, you got helicopters, jetpacks,
true.
and everything.
Very true. I
Airplanes.
feel like they needed to make it more of like a Westworld kind of like thing, and that's kind of like where I think they're going to go with it.
Yeah.
But like they have to do more shit with online.
There has to be more things to be able to do than just hunt, fish, and rob people and shoot people's horses in the head.
And I also think I don't know how GTA Online was, but with Red Dead, what lost me with the online was when you create your online character, you're a mute and you don't talk ever. So it's like when people are talking to you,
You can't reply or
you can't reply unless you like. Unless people will be like, "Well, online you can use a headset and like just talk being yourself." But that's
dumb.
That's stupid.
But it's like, and another thing my buddy was saying, like, as soon as he got online, you know, he went and fucking killed someone.
Right.
So immediately it's like Grand Theft Auto, you got 3 badges.
That's it.
And he was like, if you kill anyone or rob anyone, you lose all honor. And he was like, it makes the game not even fun to play. It's like,
You lose
there's
honor-
no benefit. Like, if you're
Yeah.
honorable, there's benefits to being honorable. But if
Yes.
you're not honorable, there's no benefit to it.
Right, and it's boring when you're honorable.
Yeah, it's not like if you're like super intimidating, people just hand over their money. It's just
Right.
you're just in trouble.
Exactly. And another thing I don't like about it is when you do kill another player, there's literally no benefit because you don't get their guns, you don't get their money, you don't
That's
get
what he
their
said.
anything. So when you kill them, it's just because you want to be an asshole.
Yeah.
So like when you kill them, they get pissed at you, and then you find yourself in this half an hour battle of okay, I kill you, you respawn,
Yep.
you kill me, I
Yep.
respawn, and it's like, what am I playing this for? But definitely the story.
Yeah.
And Red Dead 2.
I'm
the
gonna
game.
be chipping away at that for months,
Oh,
but
my
it'll be
God.
all right.
I can't wait to replay it. So right now, I'm also a big fan. So Red Dead 2 is like my number 1. Number 2 is the Assassin's Creed series. I'm a big Assassin's Creed guy, so that's going to have to be 2. I am halfway through the new one because I bought the new one, and then Red Dead 2 came out, and I bought that, and I beat Red Dead.
Yeah.
So now I'm going back to my halfway progress of Assassins, and now I'm going through that and trying to beat that before I play Red Dead again.
Understandable.
So that's
Red Dead.
2.
You got Assassin's Creed.
Yep, and then shit. What else do I play?
Another
Tom Clancy games are always.
Oh yeah, Splinter Cell and shit.
Splinter Cell. There's a new one called Ghost Recon Wildlands. Any open world game, is my thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you like a Warcraft type guy?
No, I was never a Warcraft. Like, if they came out with like a Game of Thrones type game, I feel like I would play it.
Like Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, but like, yes, kind of like that.
Yeah.
But like fantasy stuff, I like watching it. I don't like playing it.
That makes sense.
Like Final Fantasy stuff, I never played that.
Keep it.
But yeah, any like real world games, open world games where you could just explore and do shit, I'm all about it. And so there's this one game that's coming out that would definitely be a part of this too. It's like the samurai game that they've been working on forever, and it's supposed to be just like Red Dead 2, like the graphics and the story. It's supposed to be amazing. And I can't remember the name of it, but I'm getting that as soon as it comes out.
Jesus. All right. Coughing. Anyway, last category. Last category is movies to take with you on a desert island. Or not movies. I asked you movies.
Yeah.
I'm talking about CDs. CDs, records, any type of music.
Man.
So it'd be interesting to hear from you.
Honestly, man, I can't answer this. I really can't, because right now, like, if it's for like albums and stuff,
You could do greatest hits. You can do, give me something.
I mean, all right, this one's probably gonna piss a lot of people off, but I'm probably like the biggest Drake fan ever.
Hey, I've said it 1,000 times on here. I don't get how people fucking hate him. I was a Justin Bieber fan. I don't get how people hate him, dude.
Yeah, listen, I don't care. Like, and that's
Drake
why
is a business model. He got fucking bangers.
Yep.
The dude, like, what can you hate on him for?
you can't, honestly.
What can you hate on him for?
Because you're jealous.
That's exactly it.
That's it.
Jimmy from Degrassi.
I mean,
Come on.
it's crazy.
If you hate on him, you know what? You're salty. That's
Exactly.
it. You're a sad, salty person.
And you know what? He's made me a lot of money.
I'm sure he did. That's probably your bread and butter right there.
I mean, it's one of them.
Oh
Definitely
my
one
God.
of them.
What's some of your now? Just put a pin in it. Drake has to be it. Let me guess a couple of things. It got to be Drake. It got to be fucking anything you play by. I want to say like I feel like Kodak Black shit goes off in the club sometimes.
It does.
But like what's like popular?
Oh man,
Like what's your bread and butter?
anything Drake.
Anything?
Drake. And
Yeah.
so if like bread and butter, like what you're saying, like what pays like bills,
Yeah, like what gets like
or like what gets the club going.
if shit's dying in there and you put something on, like what gets it going?
Oh man. I mean, anything Travis Scott right now is big.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Anything Drake, anything Cardi B.
Kanye.
No, Kanye's been fucking up, man. He's pissing me off.
I like his old stuff. I mean, that's a
I love his old
whole
stuff.
different topic.
But we could talk forever about this, but I'll tell you what. I had a Kanye night, and it was like number 2 best nights, and now I can't even do it anymore because of his.
He's out of pocket.
He's lost his fucking mind, and
he is out of pocket.
Feel like, I mean, it's terrible because I love his shit. Like, I love that. I love even his new shit, even though it's terrible. I love it because he's crazy and it's just funny. But now he's in a beef with Drake. He went through all that weird shit with Trump, and
he's a
even
weird
before
dude.
that, it's like
He's a weird dude.
You try your best to love him, and you try your best to forget that he really doesn't matter, and it's just music. But then he does the dumbest shit where you can't say, okay, I'll just look past this.
Yeah.
Because he's literally losing his mind, and not in a good way. So
Who knows?
So yeah, no, not Kanye anymore, man. Kanye's shit could get you in trouble depending on where you play it.
So you said you're a big Drake fan.
Big Drake fan, I would say, man. Dude, anything emo.
You like emo shit?
I still love it to this day.
Oh man,
Like the old shit.
From first to last and shit.
Yep. Saves the
Chiodos, all that shit.
day. All that shit.
Man, that's all day. I just went to emo night the other day. I don't ever go out to shows or nothing.
Yeah.
Never go anywhere. Emo Night is a fucking
It's
banger.
still good.
It's a banger.
It's never gonna be not good.
I got to work myself up to go up there and do a song.
Oh, hell
because,
yeah.
Like,
Hell
I'm
yeah.
super nervous, but
like all that dashboard shit, all that old stuff.
I was always a big acoustic type fan. Anything acoustic, like Alexander Goot.
Yep.
You know, all them dudes. Just
Yep.
like I loved all the acoustic shit.
Man, and even like all the indie stuff. Like I was a big National fan, the National band.
I know who they are.
So I was a big National fan. Kind of fell off because I don't know, they were taking too long to come out with new albums and whatever. But like I remember when the movie The Warrior came out, and they had 2 big songs from the National. That was like when I was super into them. Even indie stuff. Like that's the thing. I like all kinds of music, so it's hard to ask.
Same, man.
What would you take to Desert Island?
It is. It's a hard question for
really-
people,
and
especially for people that have a profession that's involved with music.
But yeah, definitely Drake. Definitely anything like emo, pop punk. Man, and one more.
One more.
You know what? I'm such a sucker for like Missy Elliott shit.
Ugh.
That
super
old
man.
shit is
The
so
Rain?
good. Yep.
The Rain. That's all my brother, dude.
Fucking-
He infected it into my head so young.
And not even like the real popular ones, like like oh shit, I can't even think of it off the top of my head, but just like her old,
that whole tape.
the whole tape, but like not what you hear in the club.
Yeah.
Just like the stuff that's just like real like because Timbaland put the beats on most of that shit, and I love Timbaland beats. So when you put Timbaland beats with Missy lyrics, it's gold.
One of
pure
the most
gold.
slept on soundtracks of the 90s, Dr. Dolittle.
Oh hell yeah!
Dr. Dolittle.
Hell
Got some
yeah.
Timbaland and shit in there. Unreal. Okay, so second to the last question. If you have a death row meal, what would it be? You could eat whatever you want from wherever you want, as much as you want.
This one's easy for me to answer without a doubt. It's
Really?
spaghetti and meatballs, but it's either my grandma's, my mom's, or my recipe.
Okay.
That's it.
Man,
Spaghetti
I
and
like
meatballs.
that. I like
Easy.
that. All right. All right. That's good. I'm never usually people are like, I don't know.
No, that's
But,
easy for me because we had like a I'm Italian family. We have an old sauce recipe that's been passed down. I
sure.
finally got it a few years ago.
And you probably fuck with it yourself.
I'm perfecting it.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite.
That's
my mom's
dope,
is
man.
my second favorite. My grandma's is my third favorite. So if I could have anything, it'd be any of that sauce and meatballs with real thick bucatini noodles.
That's dope. That's a good choice. The last question I ask everyone is if you could have a conversation with anyone alive or dead, who would it be and why? Now let me pause real quick. Usually people will go to family. That's understandable.
I'm not going to family.
Okay. I was gonna say usually if you go to family, that's fine. But like I just like to hear someone that's not related to you.
No, and I'm going to be real selfish. I mean, I would just talk to famous DJ. I mean, I would talk to a ton of DJs. I don't know if I could pick just one, but maybe I would pick DJ AM because he is dead. Like, because I could potentially one day, if I got lucky, I could talk to Diplo.
Yeah,
you know
for
what
sure,
I mean?
dude.
Or
I mean, you're
Craze
fucking
or
killing
A-Track.
it, dude.
And so, and I did talk to A-Track not too long ago, so that was amazing. So yeah, I want to probably do somebody dead. I'll probably talk to AM because AM did the drummer DJ thing with Travis Barker when he was alive.
Really?
So I would talk to him about that, and I would just talk to him. I mean, there's a bunch of documentaries about him and his come up and what he's done.
Did you ever see that documentary, something in Babito?
Beto.
They were like radio disc jockeys. I can't fucking remember what it was called. It was on Netflix though, but
No,
and
I don't think so.
that's all right.
But yeah, I would talk to him just to shoot the shit, honestly, because I feel like he is basic. When he was doing what he was doing, it would have been for now. You know what I mean? What he was doing 10 years ago, 20 years ago was shit that's happening now that they weren't doing back then.
Yeah,
And so, I would ask him
how he got that flavor
how he
early.
but he talks about that shit in some documentaries too. But I would try to get him real drunk and try to get some secrets out of him.
That's a good choice, dude.
I wouldn't get him any drugs though. Just get him drunk.
That's good. That's good.
Because he
Recovering.
overdosed. Yeah, That's how he died.
Yeah.
So you don't want to do that.
Wouldn't want to do that.
Give him a couple shots of whiskey or something.
Yeah. That's all. Anyway, all right, man. I appreciate you coming over. I didn't.
Thank you so much for having me, man. I really appreciate this. This has been fun.
I'm glad. I hope you enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
I try my best with this. Take a second, promote anything you like.
Well, yeah. Hey, so you can follow me on any of my social media: Instagram at DJADMC, Facebook DJADMC. I have my page there. Website is whoisadmc.com. And that's about it. I think I'm on Twitter too, but I don't use it too much.
I barely use it.
Twitter's weird.
Yeah, it's just.
And then, and if you're in Pittsburgh, I'm at Belvedere's at least once a week, if not two. And hopefully stay tuned for some new news about Belvedere's 2019. And anybody out there in the world listening who wants to book a pretty good DJ,
yeah, pretty good.
Shoot me a DM.
Pretty damn good. Appreciate everyone listening as usual. Thanks for coming back. Always follow me. I'll call you right back on Instagram. I did the 10K giveaway. A couple people won. Corey Briggs, dude from Streets on Carson, and another dude, Joey Reed. 3 winners. Appreciate everyone that participated. Give me a review and a rate. Send me an email. Tell me if you know of anyone you'd like me to have on here. Call me a piece of shit. Whatever you want to do. I appreciate it regardless. Have a good one. Call you right back.